Okay, we're rolling.
All right.
Perfect. So hello everybody, my name is Lorraine. This is No Fixed Address, a podcast about traveling, about stories from the road, about culture, food, everything and nothing really. It's about the people that I meet during my 2-year-long travel that's around the world, different countries, different continents. I've been traveling through Asia for the past couple of months. We are currently in Thakhek in Laos, and I am here today with Mr. Itay.
Hello.
So to begin, Itay, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. My name is Itay. I'm from Israel. I'm 25 years old. I bought a one-way ticket to travel all across Asia. Right now I've done Thailand and Laos, planning to do Cambodia and having the best time. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So little background on how Itay and I met. It was very random. We were going from Vol.VI to Thakhek.
Yeah.
So what happened is I think we met on the tuk-tuk. First, there's a tuk-tuk that went to different hostels, hotel, meeting points in Vol.VI, picked us up, and then brought us to this bus where we waited for a good hour before leaving.
Yeah.
Then they took us to Vientiane, the capital of the country. Over there, they took us in tuk-tuk we walked to another meeting point in a hotel, waited for a bit, another tuk-tuk picked us up. Then they kind of drove us around the city for a bit, because they were picking people up, but then we were going back to some places we had already been. Long story short, we finally make it to the Vientiane bus station where we hop in the bus, and we took a day bus, so it was probably 1 p.m., but they put us on a sleeper bus, which means that we were laying down. But this one is, I think, probably one of the most the smallest sleeper bus I've ever been on.
I've never been to another one actually, so I don't have anything to compare, but it was very crowded for me.
Okay, so just so you know, it's not always like this.
Mm-hmm.
So do not worry, it does get better, especially if you're
Hopefully.
in Vietnam. You can find way better ones. But yeah, in Laos, some of the ones you find good ones and less good ones, and I think this was probably one of the lesser good ones. It was very small, so you're sitting you're laying down next to another person, but the space you have, personal space, is pretty small.
Yeah.
And ours was definitely too crowded. I think they definitely overbooked it, and so your friend actually didn't have a seat at first.
Yeah. So he went searching around, sat on the back, and just came talking to the guy. He grabbed a whole bunch of junk, smooshed it, and he sat beside the junk the whole ride. Really difficult for him. Yeah, I talked to him after. He was in shambles.
Yeah. Omar wasn't very happy about all of this.
Yeah. We actually separated today. He's on his way
really?
to Vietnam. And I, just like I said, on my way to Cambodia.
Okay, so wait, remind me, you and Omar did you guys leave Israel together? Did you travel
Yeah.
together? Okay.
We went through almost the whole journey together, the whole month and a half. There were 2 days that I went to how is it called, Nong Kia, place with the sunset, really beautiful. And he just went to Vol.VI for 2 days before me. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. And now he's going to continue traveling for a bit. Do you think you'll meet again, or is that not part of the plan so far?
So the plan is to try and to make the loop together in northern Vietnam. I don't remember the name of it.
Ha Giang?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Ha Giang loop. If we make it, that'd be great. If I feel like staying a bit more in Cambodia, it doesn't line up. So I guess I'll see him back in Israel.
Okay, that's
I'm
great.
more of a free flow,
That's wonderful. So can you tell us a little bit, so now you're planning on traveling around for a little bit. What made you decide to go on this journey, just book a one-way ticket, get away from your life from before, and take some time for yourself?
Yeah, sure. So back in Israel, I did software engineering for around 5 years. It's a really demanding job. I stayed up all day, like working till like 10 p.m. Because of my choices, but I felt a little obligated, sometimes. And I thought to myself, do I really want this career right now? Do I need to have some time off for myself? I saved some money. Let's go. Let's try have a rethink about life. And I think so far it's been really, life-changing. Seeing a different perspective. Like the life you live so far is not the life you necessarily need to live always.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. What would you say then? You touched a little bit on the work culture in Israel, because you said you were 5 years working a job where you were staying up till 10 p.m. was very intense. Can you tell me a little bit more about that culture in Israel? I'm not familiar with it at all.
Of course. So, the American dream is to have your own business and make tons of money at a really young age. We kind of inherited it, but it's kind of the Israelis' dream is to make your own startup at really young age, work your ass off until you have tons of money, and then only then you can rest. And I thought to myself, I don't want to be old and then rest. I want to do it now. I want to figure out a job that I'm happy doing, really. So that's part of the soul searching, I guess. I feel like some people may disagree with me. Some people, like Omer, for example, are really happy with their job, and that's really cool, and I wish him the best. I think that I want something that I can maybe balance a little bit more for me personally. Yeah. What do you think? How is it in France?
I think in France, well, the thing is that technically I didn't really, I lived in France right before coming here, but I haven't full-time lived in France in the longest time. But I think the mindset is so different. I think that France now is not, we have so much privilege and so much ease in France that the French population have gotten used to all of this, the help from the government, and people don't want to work in France no more. It's, I think it's a fusion of this change in the French mindset, which in my opinion isn't for the best, of not wanting to work, always complaining, always asking for more, which I think is definitely part of the culture nowadays. You ask any French person and we're always complaining, which is so annoying, and I catch myself doing it, and I don't like it even. But
complaining about life,
about life, about everything, about their their daily lives, even though you look at the country and there's so many good things. We are so privileged. You have a healthcare system, most people have a house, they have a home, there are issues with the countries, don't get me wrong, with how things are run, but I think overall people aren't willing to put in the right amount of work either.
So you view it as laziness a bit?
I don't think it's laziness. I think it's comfort. I think by the government, and giving too much, now people are too comfortable. It's like we have this expression of, you give a hand and then people start taking your arm. It's this. So I think this fused with, our generation, which I think this is a more of a universal, at least Western universal thing of our generation not wanting to settle for something we don't like anymore, wanting to find more life-work balance, not wanting to just stay in the same job for decades and
Yeah.
work that 9 to 5 or work excessive amounts of hours without proper reward. I think this fusion has definitely shifted the work culture in France.
Yeah, for sure. Like, if you look at your parents, do you think they feel fulfilled in their job, or like, just working day to day, not really feeling happy? I guess.
Well, the thing is that my parents they don't work for their own bosses, so I think it's definitely different than being an employee.
Mm-hmm.
That gives them more freedom,
Of
and
course.
they kind of like live more how they want to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also because that's the path they chose when they were young, and that's the sacrifice they took of trying to
Yeah.
build
It's a
a
huge
business. And yeah, exactly. So it's the reward, and I think it's kind of similar to what the Israeli dream is, based on what you're saying, of creating your startup. It's not like they created a startup, but at least their own business, and creating a startup, and then building a life for yourself. But I think if we can draw a parallel between their generation and the current generation in Israel, based on what you're saying, because back then it was about like working your ass off so they could get themselves out of the shit they were in, and then live the life they wanted to. And that's basically what you're saying for the current generation in Israel, maybe without the whole wanting a better life, because if I'm not mistaken, the life in Israel overall, the standard of living is already pretty good, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Western culture, like everywhere. If I look at my parents, they are employed, not really have their own business. I feel like my father especially like complains a lot about his job, like about his bosses. He's really like wants time off but can't afford it. So me fearing it has like led to me like escaping a little bit the rat race. I feel like when I come back, I might like join in a little bit, take breaks. Just that's like the mindset I'm in right now. Even if I don't find a job that's like perfect for me, like a job that's good enough and has like a balance.
I feel like also with your background specifically as a software engineer and basically programmer, there's more flexibility, and you could definitely even work as a freelancer and then do your own thing fully.
Yeah, go on work remotely from abroad, but I've talked to people like here who's done it. It seems a little difficult at times because some of them actually work like the time zones of where they came from, so they have to stay up all night, and they end up feeling tired and not really feeling rooted in any specific place. It's a downside also.
Absolutely, yeah. The digital nomads that I've met so far, I think we talk a lot about all the benefits of being a digital nomad, which is obviously the fact that you have more freedom, you can be wherever you are, travel more, you can live wherever you want. There's more flexibility in terms of how you do your work, but it is also true that it comes with the side of, as you said, if you're somewhere or if your work is somewhere in a different time zone, it definitely impacts you wherever you are at the moment in terms of the hours you work. And the thing I've also heard from digital nomads is that they're also impacted by, sometimes they have to work intensely for 1 month, and they may visit a country or be in a country, but that doesn't mean that they ended up visiting it really.
Yeah, just like staying in a hotel the whole day or coffee shops. Like, that's nice. I guess it's a change of scenery from where you're originally from, but it's not like the dream that they sell you, right?
But I think probably if you want to kind of find the best balance out of all of this, it seems like working as a freelancer may be the better option, because you know, choose your clients, choose all of this, and then you choose when you're gonna work more, when you're gonna work less. So maybe that's the real solution, because if you're a digital nomad but still working full time for a company, I think that makes it complicated.
I might give it a try. Like even today, like I miss my friends a bit, and you know my family. Like it's hard, I guess. Like video chatting for a year and not like meeting with people, but it's like another price you have to pay. Maybe I'll give it a shot for like a year, half a year, see how it goes. Visit more places. I already think about going to South America. Maybe I'll try it there.
So you mentioned feeling a little bit homesick right now. Is this also partly because it's the first big trip you go on, and well, obviously you were with Omer so far, but now you're gonna be alone, so maybe it's everything mixed together?
Yeah, a little bit. Like even with the situation in Israel right now, that I guess I have to like tell what's happening in case it's from the future. The Iranian government has fallen and they bomb Israel like non-stop since yesterday, and my friends and family are like getting it pretty hard, and I wish them all the best. Like while I'm here chilling, feeling like a bit like there's nothing I can do to help them. Staying here gives me a little bit of anxiety, trying to check the news, who's got hurt, which city has been hit. A little bit stressful.
Of course, yeah, that's totally understandable. Would you say that also this decision to travel for a bit was also influenced by what was going on in Israel?
I don't know. Maybe a little bit, but not the main cause. I think seeing how the world operates, outside of Israel, places where you don't have to worry 24/7 or check the news or live in a little bit of fear is nice. Finally that you get. But mostly, like I said, it's been time off. Actually, when I traveled, Trump has already said he wants to bomb Iran, and me and my friend did a seance, and we prayed that he doesn't bomb it, because as soon as he does, the airspace closes and we'll be stuck there. So now we are stuck outside of it, I guess, because it's closed.
What I mean, I can't even begin to imagine what you're feeling right now and what you're going through. I'm lucky to be in a country, or from a country, where these things or at least haven't happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I really hope that your family, your friends are safe right now.
Thank you.
Can you tell me, if you don't mind, obviously, after this has been going on for over 2 years now.
Yeah.
What's the population's overall? What are the overall feelings of everything that has happened? How do people feel? Where do they stand right now?
Okay, I feel like it's gonna be hard, speaking on the whole of population of Israel. So I might speak for myself as much as I can. I feel at the beginning of the war, 2 years ago, we were caught in such a surprise that everybody came together, really, as brothers, as Israelis together, stand together against Gaza and Hamas and I think it might have been even worldwide at the beginning, stand with Israel, I remember, was a thing. But after like a year, I remember like doubts starting to come in from Israel. Like, why isn't this over yet? Like, why are we still continuing this war? Not like negotiating, I guess, trying to get the hostages back. Like, people are dying, feels like a little bit no reason. So I feel like it has dragged on, and there were protests all over Tel Aviv, like every weekend. And now that the hostages are back, we go into like this Iran thing, which brought us together, I guess, again, but in a different kind of way. Like, we feel empathy towards the people of Iran, and we wish them the best government they can get, because Khamenei was a ruthless dictator who shot like protesters all over, was against the US, was against his own citizen, and we wish them like the best government ever, democracy, freedom, and we stand with you. I think that's the overall feeling, like, for me.
Okay. And do you thank you so much for sharing. Do you think that seeing again from somebody that was there recently, I know you've been saying like, oh, after a year you were feeling like, oh, when is this gonna end? Right now this happened again, you know, the more bombings. Do you think there is a feeling that this will end soon, and or do you think that unfortunately maybe it's gonna take a while more?
I feel like the situation with Iran is really complicated. I think that it will end soon. Like, I wasn't expecting it to go as quickly as it did. Like, Khamenei being dead within a day was like a huge surprise. I see like people, celebrating in the streets like of Iran on the internet. I think that if the diplomacy is good enough and it's not just like mindless violence, let's bomb everyone and everything, and like think about what do we do with this country and how do we really help the people there. Same for Gaza. It will end. I think that you have to look at both sides equally, because there are people living in Gaza, there are people living in Iran, and there are people living in Israel. Make sure everybody is happy, like as much as you can.
Okay. And how do you feel? I mean, if you want to talk about this, how do you feel? I know we discussed this a little bit before, but how do you feel about your current prime minister?
Benjamin Netanyahu. What a character, huh? I feel like he mostly takes care of his own well-being for like the past couple of years, like making sure he's still prime minister, still loved by Daddy Trump, by his fan base in Israel, but not doing like what most people want. I feel like if he's smart, he'll, go with the victory of Iran, trying to like secure a good place for everyone and retire. Like, I hope for him, because I guess most people outside of Israel don't know. He has an investigation going towards him, corruption stuff, and it feels a little bit like he's trying to avoid everything. Maybe a little bit how they accuse Trump in the US, like trying to avoid the Epstein files by doing the war,
Yeah. Doesn't he also have, as of recently, some investigations also about war crimes? Straight up?
I have no idea. Actually, never heard of it. Like in the, how do we call the Hague? Like in Hague, court.
Okay.
I ask, is this what you mean, like the UN or
Yeah.
something? Ah, okay. I
If I'm
never
not
heard it.
mistaken.
Yeah. I guess if he does that, I hope they get to the bottom of it. Like, but I think Israel is trying to do like the best it can as of like not harming civilians, like according to what I know, but it may also be a little one-sided, like uh, getting the news from Israel and everything. But I guess the people across the world don't get the news from Israel, and they also get a little bit of one-sided view. Like, you should read everything and come to your own conclusion about it.
What sort of information or statistics have you been given by? Because the statistics are pretty huge of the impact that Israel has had so far. For instance, in Gaza, they're really big.
Like, I can't remember like definite numbers, but according to what I know, Israel has like they put flyers up. They try to get the civilians across the way each time they do like a military invasion of like a certain side of Gaza. They say they come to the north, they like go by airplanes and put the SMS in everybody's phone and like let all of the people know, get the fuck out of there, so that's according to what I know that we do. I think Hamas might try to use some people as human shield because terrorists don't have like the best morals, but you can call them freedom fighters. I don't know. In my opinion, the real solution should have come years ago. Like the fact that we got surprised so much and had hostages and got bombed the fucked up out has been like the result of years of neglecting the issue of Gaza and Hamas, and like trying to ignore it. All of the world, I guess, ignored it, and Hamas wanted to bring it back up. They did. They got what they wanted, I guess.
Well, or maybe it's because they had spent years of, taking things, and then it got to a point where they weren't being heard. And so that's why they're like, okay, we're done. I mean, this is an escalation, but I'm actually very intrigued to know. And again, I'm really doing this to understand your perspective, know how things are in Israel and stuff. So don't think that I'm like, this is just a discussion.
Yeah.
What is the what do they teach you in school? How do they teach you about this history?
The conflict.
Yeah, the conflict, and even like what are you taught in school?
So I guess we start like from the Holocaust. Like Europe had a Jewish problem for a long time. Like the Jewish population stayed concentrated together, and a lot of people like saw the Jewish people a little bit like how are they so small in the population yet so successful, yet they have so much money, control everything, and that's why like the Holocaust started. World.VI is like they killed 6 million people. Right at the end, the UN has come to the conclusion that the best way possible to solve this issue would be to divide Israel in two states, a Palestinian state and a Jewish state. I can't really recall like the percentage of which got which, but it was about 50-50. Then all of the Arab nations attacked Israel at once in just as the country got its head up, like, hello, I'm a new country, boom, seven nations attacked from all sides, and we won against everyone, like and conquered some parts of Palestine. Some people got concentrated along the West Bank, some along Gaza, and we still have the problem. But it's really simplified, but the problem still persists to this day. Something like this. So the story goes like, I don't know if it's one-sided. I guess the other side would be like the Palestinians sat here a long time. Here comes the Jews want a state. What the fuck? We should conquer them. They didn't succeed.
And so in school you are taught only history starting from World War II? You're not taught anything beforehand?
In high school, that's like the main thing, like World War II. We do have Middle Ages and the Second Temple that has been in Israel 2,000 years before, but we concentrate mainly World War II and onwards, like the history of the Jewish people around that time. Yeah.
Okay, and so the history is really about the Jewish people. That's okay.
Yeah. I guess like every country has its own focus.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Okay, cool. Well, that's super interesting. Thank you for sharing. Would you say that actually, now that we're talking about the education, would you say that you have then putting aside, the history or geopolitics that you guys learn at school, you guys have a strong schooling system that really sets you up for what's to come next in the years? I mean, I guess based on, if we circle back to, I'm gonna slowly talk about, still talk about Israel, but move away from the current state of the country. So what was I saying? Sorry. Yeah, so your current schooling system really sets you up. So okay, and I want to fuse it with what we were talking about at the beginning, which is you clearly have some strong societal pressures, especially coming from parents, I guess, in a lot of places, to succeed, to become great, and which I think is obviously clearly also linked to your history and the peoples that you guys have become and everything the Jewish population has gone through. That's naturally, and honestly, it's, when you think about it, it's also really impressive how you guys have stood up every time, and you're I don't want to say it this way, but you're still standing, type of thing. Like you're definitely a very strong population.
It's a strong Jewish sentiment, like we've been through everything.
Yeah. So going back to the school question, then, do you think that the education system is of very high quality, is very strong, and really sets you up for what goes on after? Do a lot of people then choose to study in other countries? How does that work?
Okay, I think the education in Israel is one of the best, certainly in the Middle East. Maybe in the world, I don't know, there's some places where you have a lot of pressure to succeed, to study, to become the best student you can. Lately, with the government, the education has taken a little bit of a backseat, and you can see it in a test the students take worldwide. We take a little bit of a steps down, because most of the how would you say, the national treasure, the money the government has, goes towards funding the war effort, and maybe going to Hasidic people, which are Orthodox Jews, and not towards education and the future, which is a little bit concerning, because that's how the Israelis, I think, manage to stay like one step ahead each time, like the Jewish mind, we call it in Israel, you know, like which is a very precious like thing we consider, I guess.
Okay, this is super interesting. Thank you so much.
How is it in French? I would like to know.
The education system. So again, I was not part of the education system for my high school because I didn't grow up in France. But the what I know is that it has definitely been declining so much. Also, I think it's a system that doesn't really. Well, there were changes, I think, a couple years ago to how it works, because before it was basically like you had the bac, which is the final big exam you take your last year of high school, and you had to choose at the beginning of the year which kind of, you had like 3 different sectors you wanted to take. So one was more STEM heavy, the other was more, I guess, literature.
STEM is like math and science.
Yes,
all right,
more science heavy. And then I think there was another one, and you chose one, and based on that, and the other one was econ, and then based on whichever one you chose, that kind of allowed you to go into or step in an easier way into the school you wanted to go to for university.
Yeah.
But it's a system that doesn't really give you a chance to think. So things have changed a bit now. I don't really know how, but I know they don't really have those strict sectors anymore. But what I do know is that the system doesn't really allow the students, especially when you're coming out of school, you're 17, 18, some 19, and you really are lost, you don't know what you want to do, but it's basically a system where you're supposed to know what you want to do right when you're done with school. So it ends up being, in a way, a little bit of a waste of time, in my opinion, because people then go to whatever school, and it's a school where you can only do whatever you choose to study. So for instance, you go to business school specifically, and then if you want to change, well, you either drop out, wait for the next scholar year, or you have to finish that year and then you can switch.
Change.
So I feel like it's a lot of it's not very efficient. It's also, nowadays in France, most people do not only undergrad but also graduate school, which means most people have masters. Most people have plus 6-7 years of after high school, school and university, and
but
still.
That sounds like the education level is really high if most people have masters.
Yeah, but it's high, but it doesn't mean that the quality is very good. Because, for instance, I have my childhood best friend. She did a master's, and she was like, yeah, it was kind of bullshit in the end. And then most people I've heard that are doing it, not all of them are very satisfied with it, and a lot of them do it just because you have to, and just because they want the degree. They don't really do it because they're very interested in it, or a lot of people do it because they still don't know what they want to do, or they still want to take a little bit of time before entering the working life. So I'm not a big fan, which is why I initially wanted to go to a university or somewhere where I could explore different things, which is why I didn't choose France as the place for education. And the other thing about the French education, which I'm not a fan of at all, is that it's very much focused in high school, specifically high school systems, but even after, it's very much more focused on learning by heart information and then regurgitating it during exams, than really truly understanding and developing critical thinking.
Same.
And this is something I very much value, and I feel grateful for, because I did an international baccalaureate, which was, it's one of the most challenging high school courses you can do.
Wow.
But it was hell. It was fucking hard, and it was not a good time.
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful I did it, because it was very enriching, and even then I knew it was hard, but it really was gonna set me up for after. It really helps you develop critical thinking, and it's a lot of teaching, and it teaches you to think about things in a way more open-minded way.
Do you have tests you have to do? But
yes.
Critical thinking.
Yeah, it's critical thinking. It's like, for instance, if you think about the languages, it's if you develop an argument, and as long as you can back it up and explain your reasoning, the answer isn't incorrect. So obviously for math, you have one answer, and we can't really go around that one. But if for instance the languages, I ended up really enjoying taking these courses, because you analyze the books and then you're like, yes, and then maybe this means this and that, and it became way more interesting. And again, like I saw a difference at some point. There was something that clicked of the before, where I was like trying to do this and I was so lost and I didn't understand how to do it. And then the day it clicked, and after I was like, oh my god, wait, I know how to do this. This isn't that bad.
How do you feel it has like helped you in your day-to-day life, developing that skill?
I think it's in terms of, for instance, in terms of when I was still at university, and I did an internship, and this internship was at a PR agency in France, comms marketing PR agency in France. And I was given some tasks, and the way I approached them was using critical thinking indirectly. I didn't even really know, but I remember at the end of when the internship was done and I talked to the person I was working with, or I was under, she was like, oh yeah, clearly you have, you can tell you've received a different education, because you approach things differently and with that critical thinking. And I didn't even realize I was doing it in this context. I think in my day-to-day, it's helped me to also, it's a mixture of things, but overall it's, it helps you also, okay, maybe this is, very far-fetched, but I think it also helps you see the world under a much more positive view and think about things as not bad. It helps you be more positive, because you end up being able to switch or see things from a different perspective way easier. Because you're able to,
back up your thoughts.
Exactly. You're like, this happened, yes, this happened, but on the other hand, this is good, because I think in a way it has helped me in this way too.
It connects like what you said before about how French people complain all the time. Maybe if they receive the critical thinking in school, they'd get like you said, the different perspectives. So it all stems from like the education, which leads to like a little bit of a bad culture, I guess, like complaining culture.
I think, I think it could definitely be something that in any case reinforces this negative culture. In any case, or this negative part of the culture. I'm saying this, but I'm still French, and I really love France and stuff, guys. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think I really enjoy understanding the different education systems, the countries I visit, because I've had the privilege of experiencing also different education systems as I grew up. Growing up in Mexico, the education system was completely different from the other ones I received throughout my life. So
how so? How was it different?
I think, I went to I was full time in a Mexican school that was Spanish and English, so bilingual Mexican school. When I was from my 3rd grade up until I think it's like 8th grade. And so what I really loved about the education and the education we receive in Mexico is that it's very much more hands-on. You have so many projects, which allows you to, projects you always end up having to present in front of the class. There's a whole schooling, in our assemblies, we would have every grade always presenting. I think in terms of gaining the confidence to public speak and then to do teamwork, it's
super important.
It's very good, and it really pinpoints that. Although obviously, just like in any, I think, school in the world, you always have the people in the group that don't do their work and some people that do their work.
Yeah,
but
frustrating.
But still, I think the fact that it was very much project based, at least up until I was in school, I think was great. Obviously, there's differences because, I think this is probably something that's across Mexico in terms of the education. It wasn't just my school, because I went to, it was a small private for Mexico school, but it was still, very much, we still had the Mexican system. It wasn't like a crazy rich private school. It was chill.
So you think it's like really similar to the public schools they do there?
So and to get to my point, sorry, it's just that you also have a relationship with teachers that is so much more different than I think any other country, or at least any other country I've experienced. A relationship with you have with your teachers, it's way more chill. You talk about, you know, a bunch of different things. It's way more personal as well. And a lot of the times we would also have people that would try and, you know, start talking to the teacher so we wouldn't like work in class, or that it would take longer to start the work. There's good and bad in it. I think you enjoy the how close you can get with some teachers, but there's also the side where it's like, well, you're also supposed to be here to work type of thing. So
I feel like I like the subject more if I feel like I'm connected with the teacher. You know, I really enjoyed the physics in high school, even though like I might not have, if I had like a shit teacher. I hated math because the teacher wouldn't teach. Like you said, people like talk to him the whole class, and then you know nothing by the test. Yeah, like he didn't teach anything. You just write the equation, said work, and talk to everyone like for the rest of the class. I feel like if more teachers saw themselves as like having like you know, having a chance to like really influence a young child's life, and not just like be really strict or really, you know, just talkative and not teach, they'd get the best of the job, because that's what they do. Like I feel like they also should be rewarded for it. I don't know how it is where you grew up, but in Israel, teachers like get shit pay, really bad, and each year they go on strike, get a little bit of money, and then strike again the year after. I wish they get like one of the highest paying jobs like in Israel. That's what I think should happen.
I think I'm pretty sure, honestly, this is the same situation in most countries in the world, if not all of them. Unfortunately, that's the situation. It's honestly a job that I think is probably so hard. But you're right. Like these are the people that are raising the next generations. Well, not, you know, obviously it's not their job to raise the kids, but they're part of how they're gonna think, how they're gonna act. And I think having really good teachers really makes a difference. But again, like, okay, I mean, yeah, in any case, when it comes down to the pay, I do think that they definitely deserve more. Plus, they take so much shit. Like, I'm sorry, I know they chose to be teachers, but fuck, like, when I think back to when I was a teen and everything, and, you know, the people in my, hell no, like, this is so annoying. Like, I wouldn't want to teach, like, teenagers unless it's people that are really truly motivated. But I feel like now generations, with people I've talked to in different places, different countries, I think the Gen X, no, it's Gen
Alpha.
Yeah, Gen Alpha, they're becoming more like, I don't know, I feel less disciplined and more,
like
you know, they're more confident and more cocky, and you know, with their teachers, and I think it's becoming harder to also keep some people in line. But to be fair, also school isn't made for everyone, and that's totally okay. And I think it's even harder when it's not your thing, and you know it's not, but you're forced to be put in schools.
But I think you shouldn't like you know, disregard your teachers just because they make you be there. You should like always respect them and see how hard they work, like most of the teachers. I think the Gen Alpha mostly has like a little bit of maybe attention span problem. Maybe like you know, adapt the schools to like how kids learn nowadays, like through TikToks, through YouTube videos. Like one of the most popular creators in Israel right now is a former teacher that I think quit his job by now because he was so successful on TikTok. He teaches just like a bunch of random crap, talks about politics sometimes, answers questions, like I don't think he would have gotten that attention when he thought like on TikTok it's something else. Maybe like try to concentrate the lessons into like really, short form content. It's funny to say, but I don't know how to put it any other way.
I understand what you're saying, but I think, honestly, I don't know if I fully agree, because we have such a massive, little universal issue with doom scrolling and being too much time online, and I think everywhere in the world that's an issue nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, this is the one thing we can all agree on, the whole earth, or at least, the real majority of the people. And so I don't know if this would be ideal, because I think it would reinforce a scrolling addiction, social media addiction, and also the need for everything to be quick, for the quick dopamine, for all of that, which I don't think is so great.
But it's really hard fighting it. So what I'm saying, like, if you can't find them, join them. Maybe it's wrong. Like, if you try to like do it the old ways and like have a PowerPoint presentation for a long time in the classroom, people are gonna take out their phones and scroll whatever. Like, you can't punish them because they have like a lot of issues with focus.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I'm not saying let's resort back to the old ways and be plain and boring, but finding new ways that maybe don't involve reinforcing an already existing addiction. Okay, well, this is super interesting. I think this took a really random turn of the conversation, but I think it's this is what I made the podcast for, because we talk about everything and nothing, and I think it's super interesting. So, I think we can slowly start wrapping this up, maybe circling back to traveling one last time before we wrap this up.
Sure.
So far, you're still more or less at the beginning of your travels. Why don't you share with us your favorite traveling story experience so far?
Oh, wow! I should like give me 2 seconds to think about it. I had like it's so short form that the travel so much happens every day, so it's hard to remember exactly what you do. But what I think I love most about traveling, I'm trying to remember a specific story, but I really like meeting random people like you. Having like it's like a little bit of like short friendship that like each person you meet, you take something from them along with you for the rest of your trip. So at the beginning we went to a diving course and met like this lady named Laura, and we hung out with her for like a couple of days. Then we went climbing and met this really insightful lady named Yvette, and then we met you, and we did a loop in Thakhek with a guy who is 70 years old, who's taught me like a lot about life. I think like if I try to find something like that I learned about myself, is that I really get attached easily to a lot of people. So it's funny, like meeting someone and suddenly feeling like I've known them for years. I don't know about you, but that's really fun for me. Thank you for listening to me ramble on for like,
No, not at all. This is so cute. I love it. It's crazy how full circle moment this podcast is, because every time I film a new episode with someone, something from another podcast comes up. And last episode with Jorg, we basically talked so much about the importance of the people you meet when you travel, and how kind and people are, and the connections you make. So this is a
like, I hope I like maintain like friendship with everyone I meet, like having a little friend in each country. That'd be so cute.
I love that. Wonderful. Well, To wrap this up, I'm gonna ask you so what I do at the end of every podcast is I ask my guests one random question. So it changes every episode.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask you one random question and then one last question. Oh yeah, what's a habit you picked up by accident?
So I've been hiccuping for the last 5 years without controlling it whatsoever. Once every 30 minutes, 1 hour, whatever, I just go randomly and people look at me like on the bus, on the train, are you okay, dude? Like, it's okay, I'm used to it. Actually, Omer has said that he's sick of hearing me hiccup because we've been so close for like a month and a half. So I guess that's a random thing.
Well, what's interesting about this is a couple of years ago, I love that this is actually your random habit. I don't know if it's really a habit, but in any case, it's a really cool fact, and I really like it. A couple of years ago, I watched this French movie, and I think the whole premise was this girl. She started having hiccups one day randomly, and she had hiccups every day, like for years, and the hiccups stopped when she met her soulmate.
Oh my
So
God.
Itay, I think perhaps they will stop once you meet your soulmate.
I wish for them to stop. Like, I don't know if that's what a doctor would tell you.
Who knows? But
Yeah.
it's a very cool, I guess, fun fact. This is like
Yeah.
a cool fun fact to have when they ask you what's your fun fact when during an icebreaker.
Yeah.
Okay, and so last question. This is something I ask all of the guests from my podcast. So tell me, what is your current favorite song? Extra points if it's a local song. So we're currently in Lao. It's okay if it's not. Tell me what your favorite song is at the moment. I will also be using it for the outro.
Nice. Think I'll give you an Israeli song from the 70s. It's called Kacha at Ratzit Oti. It's like that's how you wanted me. That's how you should accept me, with the bad things and the good things, the positive and the negative. Like, we're all human at the end of the day, and that's what I really think about. People in general, like acceptance as a whole.
Okay, that's great. That's wonderful. I'm so excited to hear this, especially if it's from the 70s. I think, I'm so excited. I don't think I know any Israeli song, so this is going to be a cool discovery. Every time I ask this question, I always discover new songs, sometimes even
Amazing.
new genres, so it's really cool. Thank you so much then, Itay. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you for this discussion, for this conversation. I know, especially doing this right now, so like we've mentioned, obviously with everything happening right now, this is definitely a bit of a touchy subject, I'm guessing, for you. So thank you for sharing your opinions. Thank you for sharing your perspectives. This was great. I really enjoyed this conversation. I think we talked about a lot of different things, very interesting things. For the rest of your travels, I really wish you the best, where you're gonna meet so many people. So many people are still trying to figure this out. We're all a little bit lost, but know that you're not alone. And I really wish you the best. I think this is gonna be great.
Thank you, Lorraine. It's been so fun being here, like talking to you in general, like even in the bus. Like, I'm glad we got to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. Well, if you guys enjoyed watching this episode, we're gonna be bringing more people, more of the people that I meet from different backgrounds, talking about everything and nothing, just like what happened today.
Yep.
Very interesting discussions. So if you like this, watch the next one. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.